Let's take a look around a former RAF airbase. It's Silverstone, 3.660 miles, 18 turns, and some of the best corners on the planet. It's Bethlehem for Formula One. This is where it all started in 1950. Get a good exit out of the last corner club, across the line and hurtle down towards turn 1 at Abbey. 8th gear flat out, lift over to 7th, then just coast down towards Farm, back to full throttle. First heavy wheel braking spot down all the way, 3rd gear into Village. Two tight left-handers coming up, the loop as well, which opens up the throttle slightly before a fast attack into Aintree. DRS open as you enter down the Wellington Straight towards Brooklands. Reaching maximum RPM as well. Fly the car in 5th gear, control the acceleration as well, through Brooklands into Lovefield. Double apex corner as well. Be careful not to make the car slide out as well. And attack through a long sweeping right across the National Start Straight at Woodcote. Next up, it's the fearsome Cops corner. If you can take it flat out, perfect, but don't be afraid to brake and lift down to 7th gear. Attack back to full throttle for the first 2 parts of the Maggotts-Beckett complex. Flat out before lifting slightly as well, 7th gear. Beckett requires quite a lot of braking as well, down to 5th gear as you attack onto Chapel now. Open up the DRS once again and down the Hangar Straight. Once again, the engine is singing as you head down towards Stowe, named because of the Stowe School just behind the grandstand. Fling the car in 5th gear corner as well, down the slight crest down towards the pit lane entrance, in towards the Vale chicane. Brake at 70 metres into 3rd gear, flick the car into the left, then the right. It becomes double almost apex because it leads into Club at turn 18 across the control line, and that is a lap of Silverstone. Hello everybody and welcome to the British Grand Prix. It's been a long time coming. Finally we return home. Round 10 of the 2023 Formula 1 season brings us home, and this year it's going to be better than ever. Extended coverage here on JB Motorsports. We are live throughout the weekend. Live now with a 1 hour build-up to all the stuff this weekend. We'll have our preview show, full drivers press conference as well. Tomorrow, F3 practice, F2 practice, then a special lunch edition, which we're calling Friday Trackside. Then that's going to include our very own Jess, who is travelling down to Silverstone. She'll be taking us around the fan area, giving us all of the exciting in-looks into Formula 1. Also, we're going to have all the coverage, of course, Formula 1 and the Porsche Super Cup. Saturday, we'll also have a track-side walk around, the same as Sunday. And as well on Sunday, an extended Formula 1 show, a 2-hour build-up to Lights Out, followed then also by a very special half-an-hour post-race show where we'll catch up with Jess, see what she made of the race as well, and get the thoughts of our punditry team. The British Grand Prix then is going to be bigger and better than ever. We, myself, may not be trackside, but we've got Jess there as well, giving us all the access. At JB Motorsports YT on Twitter is the place to go. We're setting up an Instagram threads as well in the next few days, so be sure to keep an eye on that, and also we'll all get ready. It's going to be a great weekend. Punditry team is ready. Everybody is set sail to what's going to be hopefully a great weekend. We've got ourselves prepped up here though. Our Silverstone flag is up and ready to go for the British Grand Prix as well. It's literally pegged up as well behind. It's very cleverly done, so it just sort of goes on. But Silverstone all ready to go. We'll have our green screen up as well for some of the introductions to the show. Jess says, afternoon Josh, do you think Lewis Hamilton will stay at Mercedes next season? That's been the key this today, isn't it? We're going to hear from him in the press conference as well. Personally, I think we're going to see Lewis stay at Mercedes. There's not much really else he can go. I don't think Ferrari's on the the table. I don't think Red Bull is on the cards either. He won't go anywhere else. I think he'll stay at Mercedes for another year or so. But we'll hear from him in this first half of the press conference. It's Yuki Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon, Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton and Alexander Albon, who is in the TV press conference room as well. In the TV pen, Zhou Guanyu, Pierre Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz and Logan Sargent. So first up though, let's hear from a world champion of Formula One. He's down trackside now with Tom Clarkson. Not just yet, because it looks like they're going to do an introduction to the British Grand Prix as well with the drivers' press conference. They've changed their schedule. How rude of them as well. So that's a little bit on the marks. Usually they don't do that. So I wonder who's hosting. Oh, it's Pinkham as well as Naomi and Karun Chatnock who are talking through. So that's always nice. Jess is currently, I believe, on the train down to Silverstone. She'll be providing us all the trackside stuff this weekend. Also, if it starts to rain, she'll send a text in, which it could be raining as well. The weather forecast is not looking particularly nice this time of year. While we're waiting, actually, let's take a look at the Drivers' Championship and just take off Karun and that lot as well. Max Verstappen leads 229 points. Sergio Perez on 148. Fernando Alonso on 129. Hamilton 108. Sainz 86. Leclerc 72. Russell on 70. Then a big gap again. 43 for Stroll. 31 for Ocon. And that rounds out as well. Look at that though. Lando Norris in 10th on 22. They've got the numbers mixed up there. We've got that from Formula One themselves this time, so they've had a little bit of upsies there. Gasly's in 11th, then Hülkenberg, Albon, Piastri and Bottas level on points. Zhou, Tsunoda, Magnussen on 2. De Vries and Sargent still got no points on the board as well as they come through. We're just getting ready then for all of it coming in. But we've also had confirmation of the calendar for next year. You can just see it in the bottom corner coming in. It all starts, of course, in Bahrain on March the 2nd. That's a Saturday race, the same as Saudi Arabia, moved due to Ramadan. Australia's on March the 24th. Japan, April the 7th. China, April 21st, my 25th birthday. So it looks like I'll get a nice birthday present there. Then we also get in with Miami on May the 5th. Emilia-Romagna, May 19th, Monaco, May 26th, Canada, June 9th, Spain, June 23rd, Austria, June 30th. So triple header as well because the British Grand Prix goes on to July the 7th. Second half of the page, Hungary, July 21st, Belgium, July 28th, summer break. Before we go over to Netherlands as well and the rest of the season. Azerbaijan moved further down the calendar, which I find very interesting indeed. Let's have a look at the chat. Hello, Joshua Rose. Do you know about the F124 calendar reveal? Yes, we do. We're going to be getting onto that shortly as well with all the details. Adam says, hi, Josh. Can't wait. Have a nice day. Jess says afternoon as well. And how do you think Piastri will do with the new McLaren upgrades this weekend? And what do you think of the new liveries for Williams and Aston Martin? Think it looks great. And the new Mercedes power unit spec has come in this weekend. McLaren have got access to that as well. So they've got a new floor, new car. It should be good for McLaren to do good. Should be good also for Mercedes to do better this weekend as well. Train has arrived at Bristol as we speak, says Jess. Brilliant. Dimmer says, can Red Bull Racing get their first British win since Mark Webber in 2012? It's going to be a big ask, isn't it? They've had a victory here, Red Bull, with Max Verstappen in 2020, but that was the 70th anniversary Grand Prix. They haven't won the British Grand Prix since Mark Webber in 2012. They came close in 13, remember, with Webber, but he was beaten by Nico Rosberg, so that should be fun. Jess says, why is Canada and Miami separate? That I don't get. I don't get it either. We'll be discussing the calendar across practice tomorrow and the lunch break, but the lunch break mainly is for Jess to sort of go wandering around, showing us what's happening as well and giving us some insights, and we'll have a punditry discussion as well with everything. We're trying to get that outside as much as possible because we don't need TV pictures. We're trying to get these working so that we can go outside, sit in the garden and have a nice little chat, and I can control the OBS via my iPad or something like that. So it might work, should work. I can't see why it wouldn't work. Just using a Discord on the call because we'll all be there anyway. So we're getting that set up, and Jess can then go wandering around having conversations as well with herself and hearing us as well. It's going to be fun. Again, everyone says to Adam, enjoy. We're going to enjoy it. However, the press conference has started 5 minutes ago. Experiment at JB Motorsports. Yep, it's going to be good, and that's what it's all about as well. Just taking us out of the commentary box, getting Jess trackside. She was already going, but very kindly, Jess has agreed to do some things trackside. Up in the commentary box, Ian Birch returns with us this weekend as well for the British Grand Prix. Megan will be with us too. But it is time, though, for the first half of the drivers' press conference with Tom Clarkson at the wheel. And as I said, you can join in there with Yuki Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon, Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton and Alexander Albon.
A very warm welcome to the drivers' press conference ahead of the FIA Formula One British Grand Prix. We have 2 sessions coming your way as ever. And first up, as you can see, we have Yuki Tsunoda, Alex Albon, Esteban Ocon and Charles Leclerc. And we're going to be joined very shortly by Lewis Hamilton. But why don't we start with the solitary Brit that we have in the room. Alex, please. Look, talk us through it. Silverstone, why is this place so special to you?
Well, I actually grew up, around this area, and I learned my ARCS test, which is how you get your racing license. I did it here, so you could say this was the very start of my racing career. I learned how to drive. They ask you, what does your right foot do? What does your left foot do?
What did you say?
I don't know what I said. I'm sure I said it correct. I'm sure I said right foot is go and left foot is brake. They ask you about the flags as well. No track limits there, though. But yeah.
Look, you won the Formula 2 feature race here back in 2018. Just tell us a little bit about what you need to be quick around Silverstone.
Well, firstly, obviously, high speed is where it stands out. It's also very windy here, so I feel like around this kind of circuit where it is quite open, I'm sure these guys will agree with me, but wind is it's very difficult to master in tracks like here where tailwind, headwinds, it's changing the balance so much. So to be on the limit throughout the whole corner, it's very easy to underdrive a part of a corner which is a bit of a headwind, and you can use a little bit of that wind to push a little bit more into a corner. So yeah, that's really it.
And Alex, we're now being joined by Lewis Hamilton. Lewis, very warm welcome. Just with Alex at the moment. Look, Alex, there was a lot of excitement around your 7th place finish in Canada. Austria proved a little bit more challenging. Just what can we expect from you and Williams here?
To be honest with you, I think Austria was still a great weekend for us. I just think Canada was a super weekend. So we were still happy with Austria. The pace was great. I think during the whole weekend our worst result was 13th, which was a sprint race, and even then we were running in 7th. So I have to say, as a team, we're confident. We feel like with this new package we're in a good place. There is no secret that the last couple of circuits do suit us a little bit more than the ones we're going to go to. Silverstone, maybe not quite as good as Canada and Red Bull Ring, but still good. So let's see.
All right, look, best of luck this weekend. Thank you, Alex. Lewis, if we could come to you now. Home race, you have a fantastic record here at Silverstone. Can you just describe the connection that you have with this place?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So happy to be back. This Grand Prix is the best. Well, I remember coming here the first time when I was a lot younger, racing cadets. I think it's around like Brooklands area. They had like a straw bales. Remember crashing. It wasn't a good race. But then coming here for my first time in Formula Renault, and coming and watching the race, I think for the first time, must have been like 13 or 14 or something, with McLaren, and just standing at the back of the garage, dreaming of one day being in the car, and then having then getting to Formula One and having the first year, and it's been a phenomenal journey that I've had here. I remember the crowd the first time in 2007 when I got the pole. I think that's probably the only time I've ever heard the crowd over the sound of the car. So that was pretty special.
You mentioned the crowd. Just describe what a capacity crowd does to the work that you do in the car. Is it, as Nigel Mansell always said, worth half a second a lap?
I wish it was worth half a second, because we really need that right now. So, I hope so. I think it's hard to quantify it. I think overall, the crowd just lifts you and the whole team up, and there's this kind of feeling of floating when you come here, on that positive energy that everyone brings, and just seeing so many of the flags, so many of the caps, and people supporting us, it really just helps spur you along. And when you're in the car as well, when you see them, you can see them through so many of the corners on the outside of the circuit, and it's really just really encouraging. And I always remember my first win here, just continuously being encouraged by the crowd on the outside of Abbey, and so.
And Lewis, Austria was a bruising weekend, to quote your boss Toto Wolff. You've got upgrades on the car here. What are you expecting from them?
Yeah, so we have a new front wing. So it's just one step, hopefully further in the right direction. It's not a huge package or anything like that, but we're just making step by step, hopefully trying to close down the gap. Obviously, Austria was, not a nice weekend for us all. But that's where we learn the most. That's when we pull together the most as a team. So I was in the factory on Tuesday and Wednesday with the team, and everyone's back in, flat out, just focused on turning that negative into a positive here this weekend.
All right, well, look, best of luck. Thank you very much. Charles, coming to you now. I saw pictures of a great chess match between you and your brother on the way to the UK. Who won?
He did, unfortunately.
Is that a regular occurrence in the Leclerc household?
Not really, but we try and play here and there whenever we have time. And yesterday was one of those games. Normally I win, but yesterday I didn't.
Well, look, let's talk about the on-track bit now. Great to see you and Ferrari back on the podium in Austria. With those upgrades, just how much progress do you feel Ferrari has made?
I think since Barcelona, really, the feeling is going in the right direction. We couldn't really prove it in any other tracks since Barcelona, but in Austria, the feeling was good and the pace was a bit better than what we had for the first part of the season, so that was good. I think it shows that there were some steps forward made. However, we shouldn't get carried away. I mean, Red Bull is still a lot in front. And I think this track this weekend will expose a bit more our weaknesses, so we might struggle a bit more than what we've seen in Austria. But it's clear that the feeling and the pace is a step better.
You said after the race on Sunday night that the tyre deg was better. Will the new constructions that are coming from Pirelli this weekend help or hinder you, do you think?
I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. I think... Again, during the free practice is going to be very important to assess that, to see how much of a difference it is in terms of tire degradation, if we need to fine-tune the car to these new constructions. And then we will see, but we don't know yet whether it's going to be a benefit or a weakness.
All right, look, best of luck to you. Esteban, let's come to you next. Now, your retirement here last weekend ended a bit of a run for you because you'd always finished in the points at Silverstone until last year.
Yeah, very true. Thanks for reminding that, Tom. But yes, it's usually a good weekend for us. It's usually a track that I really enjoyed, that I've been driving well on, and it's been just a fun weekend as a whole. I think it's the home of motorsport. When you come to the UK, I spend quite a lot of time here in general, working with the team around Oxford, and it's a bit of a home race, for all of us. We are going to see where we are exactly. I think Apex GP is bringing some upgrades this weekend. Sonny Hayes is in good shape, so we are going to see how that works.
How do you think your upgrades are going to play against his?
Yeah, I think we've worked well on bringing parts for both cars. So we're having a front wing this weekend that should be helping our performance in general. So we're going to test that this weekend.
All right, look, best of luck to you. Thank you very much. Yuki, coming to you now. Austria wasn't a straightforward weekend for AlphaTauri. How hopeful are you to be able to turn things around here in the UK?
Yes, probably one of the worst race for this year. But yeah, I just forget those but actually I learned a lot of things from that race. So it's good that I think I just make this race as a refocus again. I think we will bring also quite good amount of upgrades. So looking forward to that. Hopefully that works well, and in that case, I just try to maximize that opportunity and aim for the points.
Look, where is the car lacking at the moment? What do you need from these upgrades?
The Austria was a bit of everything. We're having too much drag. We're sucking all the airs from the front. So currently just really straight line speeds are really poor. But at the same time, because we don't have much downforce, we wanna, we don't have much lows. We wanna put downforce, but if you put downforce, the drag gonna be worse. So just we need like less drag. At the same time, more lows. So a bit of everything. This kind of upgrades will brings us a little bit different approach, which of course in general lows as well, but bit of a difference. So yeah, I'm feeling optimistic. I think in the data and the simulator I feel quite good. So just had to try in the track and see how it works.
All right, go well, Yuki. Good luck. Thank you very much. Let's open this to the floor now. Please remember to give your name and publication. First question, please. Yes.
David Croft, Sky Sports F1. Question for Lewis. Welcome home. Good to see you. The upgrades, you mentioned them step by step. If at the end of the season, or towards the end of the season, they haven't produced the results you want, how much of a bearing does that have on your future with the team? Contract still not decided. I'm sure lots of people here were hoping for an announcement. Do you look more long-term, or do you think, look, we're not heading anywhere with this project, might be time to do something different?
No, that's not what I'm thinking. Before the end of the season, that will be already well into the contract. I still have 100% faith in this team, and it has taken longer for all of us to get to where we want to be, and it's definitely not easy. But I believe that we will get there. I think we've just got to continue to work and chip away at it, and that's what we're trying to do. So that's why we've got the upgrade here for the front wing. We'll have bits over the following races, hopefully. It couldn't come soon enough, but and I'm pushing as hard as I can. I was having big meetings with the team earlier this week, speaking to head of ERA, head of vehicle dynamics, trying to also with what's in mind for next year's car.
Thank you, Lewis. We're going to take a short break here at Silverstone and be back with more questions from the print media in just a minute.
Well, very nice to hear then from Lewis Hamilton about the upgrades he's got coming to the car this year. Let's get over to the YouTube chat. SHT says, I also just realised that the position for Haas and Alfa Romeo got mixed up. 8th above, 7th. Same for Norris and Gasly as Hülkenberg and Albon in terms of position running. Yeah, we got that graphic directly from FOM. Like, it was on the end of last week's coverage in Austria, so we got it sent over and thought, okay, that's going to be brilliant, that's what we need to do, and it was completely wrong. So that's going to be entertaining, to say the least. Also, don't freak out thinking, oh no, they've changed the mic shields. I know people do think that. No, we haven't. They're still here. It's just that this is for the preview show to try and keep them as pristine as possible, as well, and minimalistic as well. So that was an interesting first part of the press conference. Really interesting to hear from Lewis Hamilton as well, saying that the whole team is just trying to take the positives away from what has been a negative start to the season as well. Alexander Albon looking good, and Esteban Ocon. How cheeky do you have to be as well to keep saying that the team is constantly changing as well, and that Apex GP or APX GP have brought some upgrades this weekend. That is, of course, in reference to the film that is being made by Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt's actually going to be on the grid on Sunday. He's going to be leading the field around on the formation lap. Like, I think he's going to be a bit like we see in IndyCar. He's going to be in front of the safety car, or he's going to act as a safety car. I don't think that's a good idea, mainly because there's also been a lot of words around here that we could have protesters. And if anybody is watching this and you're planning on protesting, whether you're just stop or anything, just stop. Do not because it is so dangerous to enter a live motor racing circuit. Peaceful protest, that's fine, but do not go onto a live motor racing circuit. You will get killed. It is without a doubt, you will get killed. These cars, yes, they can stop incredibly quickly, but they are going over 200 miles an hour. If they hit you, it would be like stepping into a blender. Do not go anywhere near those cars. Protest outside the circuit, that's fine. Don't hold anybody up. Just peaceful protest. That's fine, but we've already seen disruptions at Wimbledon, twice yesterday on Court 18. We saw disruptions at the cricket ground at Lords as well during the test a few weeks ago. And there's, I think, actually I've just been sent, there's actually a protest on Westminster Bridge, I believe, today about it all. So just use common sense and be careful and don't protest on a live circuit. 361 days have passed since Ferrari's last victory in Formula One. That was Leclerc at the 2022 Austrian Grand Prix. It will be almost a year by the time we get to the Grand Prix on Sunday as well. 364 days out of the 65 we've had. So there's a big pressure on Ferrari here to turn it up to the maximum and actually deliver something going into this weekend. Yeah, how many protesters we had in the history here at Silverstone Grand Prix? We've had a couple. The Priest that got on the circuit in 2003. He ended up on Britain's Got Talent, actually, and got eliminated straight away. We had the protesters last year at the British Grand Prix get onto the circuit. They got lucky, though, because Zhou had already had his massive accident at Turn 1 and the red flag had already come out by the time they got onto the circuit. In fact, rather strangely as well, they got onto the circuit after the cars had passed as well. So they had some sense that they let the cars go through and then sat on the track. And I found that quite... I was like, oh, okay, so you're not complete idiots, but you are idiots for going onto a motor racing circuit at over 200 miles an hour. Lucky the race did get stopped. So we'll keep an eye on that one. The print media is now going on, which means we've got a little bit of time. I was hoping that somebody would turn up in the commentary box to have a word, but none of the Punchy team are around in the comms box. We know Jess is travelling, so she'll be here tomorrow. But at the moment, no one's going there. Apparently, I'm now following Ash Sutton Racing on Threads. Threads, by the way, looks absolutely brilliant, isn't it? You might notice our Twitter went down just a second ago, so that's even worse. I believe we've got some interviews coming up now as well with Fernando Alonso.
So, as somebody who you called Oxford home for a very long time, is it nice to be back?
It is nice, especially because the factory is so close to us here. This new factory, all the new energy that we feel in the team is good to be back in Silverstone now as an Aston Martin driver. And 300 meters away we have the factory if we need anything.
Tell me about the team delivering on and off track as well as the factory, because your guys, Andy Stevenson, was the only one who noticed that there was this discrepancy after the race between the lap deleted times and how many penalties had gone out. He was the only one who actually went and did. And as we say in English football, what a blinder he played for the team, getting you more points and Lance more points, and nobody else had noticed or wanted to do anything about it.
Well, I think everyone noticed it because I rewatched the race on TV, at least on the Spanish channel, and they were commenting that every 1 or 2 laps there were 2 or 3 drivers with delete laps, so more than 100 delete laps. So if you did delete laps because the system triggered that you were off track, it's just a very simple thing to apply the penalties. So it was not anything against a driver or a team or whatever. It was just if you race direction and FIA delete so many laps, where this come from, and that was quite simple.
Okay. Well, good. Maybe Spanish TV is better than us in terms
sure
of the commentary.
No,
we weren't. We saw the deleted
that there
laps.
were so many deleted laps.
Yeah.
I'm sure of that. So it was a little bit of a normal consequence of asking, what's going on.
And just finally, do you feel you've slipped behind as a team now, performance-wise, Ferrari? And will the upgrades that you've got this weekend put you back on terms with them, do you think?
Let's see. I think it's going to be an interesting race off track as well. From circuit to circuit, maybe the strength can change a little bit. Ferrari was a little bit faster in Austria. McLaren was faster in Austria. But here in Silverstone, we try to get back that competitiveness.
Okay. Thanks for that.
So, Coach,
Yeah, really nice to hear from Fernando Alonso there as well. We only just got that interview ready at the end of it there, so we'll try and get that sorted for next time. We don't usually do these live as long as we do. Usually I talk for like 5 minutes and then we go off into the next half of the press conference. Sky, though, deciding to change up the systems quite quickly. The weather forecast looks quite interesting this weekend at the British Grand Prix as well. Just like to point out, forget my phone up here with the weather forecast. Looking to Silverstone, which you can easily do because Silverstone is at everywhere, and it actually comes up with Silverstone Formula One Aramco British Grand Prix. Can you see that on the weather forecast? There we go. No, I don't think you can you? There we go. There it all comes up, look. All set to go. Just like this. Friday, sunny, 26 degrees. Saturday, cloudy, 25 degrees. Sunday, 40% chance of rain, 22 degrees. But it's Silverstone. Rain can come in any minute as well. We're half in Northamptonshire, half in Buckinghamshire as well. Aston Martin were really clever to wait for their chance until after the race to lodge the appeal. I was in confusion when I just woke up on that day with all those post-race penalties. Yes, I think everybody was about these penalties that came through. And you can hear from our Grand Prix review coming up later, but for those of you who missed it, track limits was the debacle. Highest number of driver penalties ever issued in a single Grand Prix. And Esteban Ocon broke that record, by the way, with 4 individual penalties, beating himself and Pastor Maldonado a couple of years ago. So Carlos Sainz received, this is 10-second time penalties for Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, Pierre Gasly and Alexander Albon. Esteban Ocon alone got a 5-second time penalty twice, and 2 10-second time penalties, equating to 30 seconds. Logan Sargent got a 10-second time penalty. Nick de Vries got 2, a 10-second and a 5-second. And Yuki Tsunoda got a 5-second time penalty. The penalties that had been applied for 4 infringement, a 5-second time penalty. For 5 infringements, a 10-second penalty. Then a reset has been allowed due to the excessive number of infringements. The counting of infringements restarts after another 4 infringements. A 5-second time penalty will appear after a further 5 or 10. So that technically means that Ocon went off the track 20 times. In one Grand Prix, that was 71 laps. He went off the track 21 times. Don't forget, everyone's saying, oh, Esteban Ocon only got 4 penalties in that Grand Prix. He got 5. He got 5 penalties because he also got 1 for an unsafe release in the pit lane. So Ocon was billed 5 times in that Grand Prix. Absolute insanity. And then the stewards are here at the bottom here. Said the stewards very strongly recommend that a solution be found to the track limit situation at this track. And it has been reported this morning as well that the FIA have said with the Red Bull Ring, and the Red Bull Ring have agreed that they are going to install gravel traps at the exit of turn 9 and 10 to stop that happening. So back to the old days. They've contacted MotoGP about it. MotoGP say, yep, that's absolutely fine. You can do that. It's better safety for us as well. So we're all good. So that's brilliant. So the results from last weekend's race now shows Max Verstappen as the winner from Charles Leclerc, Sergio Perez, Lando Norris, Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Lance Stroll, Pierre Gasly, Alexander Albon, Zhou Guanyu, Logan Sargent, Esteban Ocon, Valtteri Bottas, Oscar Piastri, Nick de Vries, Kevin Magnussen and Yuki Tsunoda. And that's probably as well why these championship standings are wrong as well. But let's go over to Ted with Pierre Gasly.
Hi, Pierre.
Hi.
How's it's an important weekend for the team, obviously based down the corner, down the road. You had unveiling one of the new 810s with a special livery. What's the mood in the camp going into this weekend?
Oh, I must say, since the lack of pace we have at the moment compared to our main competitors, so hopefully this can bring us closer to to the guys ahead. We know how much we are missing. We hope to close that gap with this new front wing, and we'll maximize our chances and hopefully manage to get a top 8 this weekend.
Okay. Do you have a suggested solution for the track limit stuff? Would you like to go
Don't
back
get
to
me
where...
started on this one.
Well,
because,
would you like to go back to where a couple of years ago in Austin?
To be born 30 years ago? Probably.
Yeah, well, that's true. I seem to be a couple of years under a different race director in Austin. They decided on race day, as long as it's the same for everybody, just, it wouldn't be enforced. And on certain tracks, maybe that's the solution. What do you think?
I'm prefer not to speak, because if I speak, I'll be in trouble.
All right.
So.
Oh.
Good idea. Finally, What have you seen, and will you kind of look at? This is the first race that the Apex movie is going to be, the Brad Pitt movie is going to be shooting. I don't think they're going to be on track at the same time, but is it a nice thing to sort of look at the side of your motorhome if you get the chance of a busy weekend to see what's going on there, or are you just going to wait and see the
disappointed
finest
if I
film?
cannot dive bomb Brad Pitt into turn 3. That would be a sad news. So we'll see if he gets on the track. But no, I mean, it will be kind of quite unique to have Brad Pitt in the paddock. But ultimately, we're here to work and to score points. So we'll focus on that, and whatever happens with him will happen. And that will be fun to watch whenever it comes out.
You're in the movie anyway.
Oh, yeah, are we?
All of your IP has been completely signed over
No
to
way.
this thing.
I haven't signed anything.
Hey, well, they'll have cameras everywhere. Cameras are everywhere.
Yeah?
And you're just going to appear, and then that's it.
The Oscar.
I don't think he knew that. I really actually don't think he knew that, which I find absolutely hilarious, that the drivers don't know that they're in the movie. They're all in the movie. They've been filming up and down the paddock all day. In fact, they're filming some of the fan areas as well for exterior shots. So, Jess, I know you're probably watching this. You've got to keep outside and make sure you're there for top dollar as well. But the campsites are beginning to fill up. The best in the world here at the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. And more from the drivers' press conference will be coming up shortly, as we'll now go over as well and listen over to more. Always got to learn over for the ad breaks as well. It's kind of how we sort of get away with this weekend as well. By the way, just to let everybody know, we are also with the Channel 4 this weekend. So pictures will be coming from Sky F1 as always. But Channel 4 this weekend will be live. And I also don't know if Alex Jakes is commentating on the F1 TV. I don't know. From my understanding, F1 TV are taking the Channel 4 commentary feed. That's what I understand. But they're not... I don't know. It's very confusing. It's either that or they've got something else. I don't know what the plan is yet for F1 TV. I'm sure we'll find out tomorrow as if Ben Edwards is commentating or not at the track. We'll find out. I've not seen anything so far about what is happening in terms of the commentary box, but it's going to be fun. But we're going to have another monitor up here in the commentary box. Don't know where we're going to plug it in now. I think we've just got one more plug socket available with a little aerial. That's somewhere up here, I think. Yes? No? Where's it gone? Oh, this is a problem now when you lose your aerial. Let's have a look, sis. Where are you? Okay. Oh, there it is. Screwed in at the bottom. Okay. That's going to be a bit interesting for the plan. Because then we'll have another monitor. We're going to have another monitor linked up to the bus fixer, so that if they do any interviews in the pit lane, we can throw down to them as well. So everyone gets like the best of both worlds. But it's not going to be that thing. That's outrageous, man. Ocon becoming the new Maldonado, which is not making him look like his real self. That's absolutely the same thing as okay. That's going to be a lot of fun. I've just been notified $8.99 for Amazon Music on my card. Well, that's okay. We knew that was going to come. Well, it's still $8.99 divided by 3 of us. That's not too bad at all as it comes into it. But this Grand Prix looking to be even more exciting. Next up at the press conference, actually, it's already started. So the second half, we've heard from Gasly and Alonso, haven't we, in the TV pen. They've also had Zhou Guanyu, Carlos Sainz and Logan Sargent in there. Haven't heard from them just yet. So we'll see if they get there soon. Second out in the TV pen, which should have been in around about 30 seconds' time. In the TV pen, so talking to Ted Kravitz, will be Nick de Vries, Nico Hülkenberg, Oscar Piastri, George Russell, and Max Verstappen. We'll definitely hear from Max Verstappen before we go off here for the preview today. But the second lot in the drivers' press conference with Tom Clarkson and David Croft taking over with the questions, it's going to be Valtteri Bottas, Lance Stroll, Kevin Magnussen, Lando Norris, and Sergio Perez. I'm surprised that it's Perez in the press conference and not Max Verstappen. I mean, he's the championship leader, British Grand Prix. Don't know why he's gone to the TV pen, but we'll see and find that out. By the way, at JB Motorsports YT on Twitter if you're not already following us, because Jess, who is travelling down trackside, she's going to be giving numerous updates and Twitter photos, tweets throughout the weekend as well. That's the place to be to keep an eye on everything as well. She started her train journey as well and put that on social media earlier on. So good luck, Jess. Hopefully travelling is going safely at the moment. And also we'll tweet out all our links to this weekend, because we'll be live with F3, F2 and the F1 and the Porsche Super Cup race. Okay, Sky are coming back and we're getting ready for the second half of our drivers' press conference as Sergio Perez is walking out from the Red Bull Media Centre and is going over to the press conference here for the 2023 Aramco British Grand Prix. Let's have a word though with Carlos Sainz.
Carlos, good to see you. Lots of wonderful memories for last year, but maybe we could start with some not so good ones. It wasn't a good look for Formula One in Austria. You were one of those penalised afterwards. What reflections, what message would you have for the sports authorities to sort that out?
It wasn't great. Jumping on a plane and about to take off and suddenly receiving a penalty wasn't a great feeling. And it just felt wrong for F1, for everyone involved in the sport, that you put so much effort into everything, and you still get these kind of situations, that I think we need to find a solution. No? I think we are clearly just not in control, or fully in control of all the situations right now, and now we need to make sure we put together a plan and a solution for things like Austria, make sure don't happen again.
Okay, listen, you drove well there, you could tell. Was frustrating aspects of the race, obviously, the pit stop, maybe having the pace and not being able to exploit it early on. Did you have a good debrief with the team? Is everything okay in that regard?
Yes, it feels a bit the story of the year. No, I think I'm driving well this year. I'm understanding the car well. I'm pushing it very hard in the race and doing some good tire management, doing some good overtaking, defending pretty much in every race weekend. But the final result or the final outcome is maybe not exactly what I want, no, and or not exactly what we want. We debriefed well the race. We came to some very interesting analysis and conclusions, and I can only tell you the team is always doing the best they can on interest for me, for everyone. And I think there's just things that you can learn, things that you can progress with. But I'm sure we will be making steps in the future.
To what extent could you get close to or replicate last year's result this week?
Well, definitely closer than 3 or 4 races ago. But at the same time, we're still far. We're still far from that Red Bull. You saw it in Austria. We had really good pace, but Max was a bit in a different league. And Checo, when he came back through the field from P something, you could just see they had more, no, than us. But we made progress. We are now in that fight with Aston and Mercedes, while 3 races ago they were clearly quicker in race pace. So hopefully we can keep making that progress, consolidate it, and have a strong weekend here and fight for that podium again.
Carlos Sainz there, who of course last year won his first ever British Grand Prix and his first ever Grand Prix as well. And it was a brilliant atmosphere on the podium as well. Just seeing it again in front of me, the Spanish national anthem being played, then followed by the Italian national anthem, a tune that became very much everybody's back at the Fernando Alonso years when he won a Ferrari. Alonso, by the way, looking good this weekend. We'll be here. I think we'll hear from him in the press conference. But that's going to be absolutely brilliant as well. Jess, don't forget to take your wedges as well, says Dear Nat as well. Jess has started to travel. She's there. She'll be with us all the weekend. She won't be in the commentary box, obviously, but we'll be hearing from her in the Friday, Saturday and Sunday trackside, basically during the lunch break. We're not going to stop. We're going to have lunch with you, the fans. So basically, what we're going to have is we're going to be outside with all the equipment, myself, Megan, or myself, and whoever's going to be in the comms box as well. I'll be outside. We'll be on a Discord call as well. Jess will be trackside, and she'll be going around everything, showing us loads of things, and it'll be like a relaxed hour of conversation, a bit like a podcast. I think it's an hour on Friday, 45 minutes on Saturday, and then I think half an hour on Sunday because of the condensedness of the build-up. But also, in the 2-hour build-up to the Grand Prix, we'll be hearing from the drivers out in the track parade. We'll also be hearing from what happened, in case you missed it, what happened in qualifying. So a nice little qualifying tete-a-tete. And then also Jess will be trackside getting ready. Okay, let's go over then. For the second half of the press conference, we'll join Tom Clarkson up in the media centre.
Welcome back to Silverstone for part 2 of our drivers' press conference. This time, as you can see, Valtteri Bottas closest to me, Kevin Magnussen, Lando Norris, Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez. Let's start with the Brit. Lando, please. So, Silverstone, how are you feeling?
I'm super excited. Yeah, finally my home race of the season. So, yeah, I'm feeling good. We've come off the back of a very good weekend. I probably couldn't have asked for a better weekend to kind of come into my home race. So excited, some more things to look forward to this weekend. But just, I guess the rest of it, not the driving part. The driving part I'm always excited for, but the rest of the weekend, the fan stage Sunday night, probably the thing I look forward to the most already. So yeah, I look forward to the whole thing.
Well, as you say, it was a very strong result in Austria. You had upgrades there. There's more new bits on the car this weekend. What can we expect from you in the British Grand Prix?
I'm kind of hoping something similar. I don't expect it to really be any better, but I think that's still me remaining positive. You know, I'm still looking forward to it. I think we definitely took a step forward. We caught up with some of the competition. We overtook a lot of the competition, but Austria has always been our best race of the season, like by quite a way. So I think we can try to maintain that pace this weekend. Is our aim. Doing any better than that, I think, is quite a bit of a stretch, but. Yeah, we're definitely getting there. Like you said, so a couple little things on the car this weekend that we can add to it, and if we can just kind of start to consolidate these positions or this kind of area that we're racing in, then I'll be happy. But it's close. If we can race against Mercedes and Aston this weekend, I'll still be happy.
By consolidate, do you mean try and build some momentum? Is that what you're after?
Yeah, I think we've just, the whole season we've been a little bit up and down. Some tracks the car works very well in, and some tracks not so much. So we made the car quicker. We probably didn't make it any easier to drive, and I think that's our next target to try and achieve. But like I said, just Austria is our best race, so I don't think it's going to get much better. But you never know. I think this weekend we'll still try and do better, but just trying to maintain that kind of area that we're racing in. If we can race against Astons, I think we'll still be very happy. If we can race against Mercedes, I think we'll still be very happy. But even doing that, I think is quite a big ask still.
You've had a 4th place finish here at Silverstone. What would it mean to finish on the podium?
I mean, if there's one place in the whole season that I'd love to do it more than anything, it's here. As much as I would love any podium or any win, whatever it is, the one place I'd love to do it, even over Monaco and even over all of those special places, the home races for me is the one place I'd love to do it. So I guess I've grown up watching Lewis do well here, and I think it'd be one of his most competitive circuits. So you see what it means to him, and at the same time what it means to the fans and the supporters who are there cheering the Brits on. So if I and we as a team can deliver a good result for the home fans, that would make it even more special.
All right, best of luck. Thank you very much, Lando. Lance, coming to you. When we talk home races for a team, it doesn't get much more local than this for Aston Martin. Are you getting the home race vibes?
Yeah, for sure. It's you know, it's we're right across the road, so doesn't you know get much more of a home race for the team than this one. It's great. I mean, just for everyone in the team, you know, a lot of guys, you know, over at the factory that don't really get a chance to come, you know, watch some racing very often and see the car. You know, this weekend have a chance to come over and you know, see the car, you know, and get a feel for the race weekend, which is cool, and you know, great track to drive. One that's you know, always a lot of fun.
Let's talk performance then. What the employees are going to see on the track, because although 5th and 9th was a good haul of points for the team in Austria, The car seemed to lack a little bit of the edge that it's had at previous races. Why was that?
Yeah, I don't think it was our most competitive weekend. We have some ideas why, but I think we're, we have a few upgrades this weekend, a few bits that we're bringing to the car to try and improve some of those, some of the weaknesses that we had in Austria. So, I hope we can be a bit more competitive this weekend.
What were the weaknesses? Is it to do with straight line speed? Is that what we're talking about here?
A little bit of straight line speed, some through corner balance, issues, and we just didn't look to be as competitive as some of the other teams in high speed corners also last week. So it just wasn't one of our most competitive weekends. But like I said, a few bits coming to the car this weekend. So hopefully we can be a bit stronger.
All right. Well, good luck with them. Hope they deliver. Checo, coming to you now. First up, how are you feeling? Because you weren't sounding great last weekend. It has to be said.
Yeah, I am happy I made very good progress. It was a very tough weekend, but here we are, fresh and ready.
And who are you looking to intimidate this weekend?
Hopefully not Carlos again. And hopefully we can have a bit more of a quiet race. It was quite hectic the last weekend.
Now,
are you still sick, man?
No, you're fine here. Don't worry.
Look, it was a wonderful drive from 15th to the podium last weekend. You said after the race that you've got your confidence back. So what is possible this weekend?
Well, I think it's possible that we are just back to our form that we had earlier in the season. I think we just had a bad few races. We understand why now, and hopefully, we are able to keep this consistency going forwards until the end of the year, basically.
And which section of this Silverstone circuit is going to play to the strengths of the RB19?
I think it should be a really good circuit for us, and the high speed it's been our strongest point. So I do expect us to shine probably and hopefully a bit more than previous weekends.
Checo, last one from me. You spent 7 years driving for the team just across the way. How well do you feel you know Silverstone?
I think we all know it really well, not only in Formula One, but also from the junior categories, doing a British F3 for a few years. You do a lot of testing in this circuit with different configurations, different layouts. I think it's a place that we all enjoy a lot, and we know it very well.
And when you're debriefing with your engineer, is it corner numbers or corner names?
Numbers, definitely. We keep it consistency. We keep that consistency through all of them because they like to call them through their name, but I think it's just better to keep that consistency.
All right, look, best of luck to you this weekend. Thank you. Kevin, coming to you. You raced a lot in the junior formulas in England, British Formula 3 Championship. Is it corner names or corner numbers to you?
Numbers for me as well. I always forget the names. I know there's a couple of them I know, but I always forget.
Well, look, let's talk performance. A great race from 17th to 10th. Here last year for you. How confident are you of more points this weekend?
I think after the couple of races we've had lately, it's not easy to be super confident. I think our car is often very strong on Saturday, strong on one lap, low fuel, new tires, but in the race on Sunday we seem to struggle a lot more than others. So that's what we are focusing on at the minute, and trying to improve the situation on Sunday when we have to do more than one lap on the tires.
Well, look, what are you doing as a team to improve the situation?
Well, I mean, first phase is investigating what actually is causing our issues. We seem to just have a lot of degradation, lap time degradation. It's not like we're graining the tires or damaging the rubber. It seems to just lose performance more than others. So we can qualify well, but then we seem to just tumble down the field in the race. So that's not a great situation. I prefer it to be the other way around, to have a strong car on Sunday, and you can fight your way forward. At least you have something to fight for on Sunday, but at the moment it's a bit of a tough situation.
And do you think Silverstone's fast sweeps will exacerbate the problem?
Yeah, I think it's definitely one of the high-speed circuits of the year, and I'm hoping that we can have a bit more strength here. I think our car seems to be pretty strong in high-speed corners, and it's a very low braking circuit, so maybe that's going to be interesting for our problem to see if that has an effect that we're not using the brakes so much. But yeah, we'll see.
All right, look, final one from me. You've just driven your 150th Grand Prix. Are you proud of that stat?
I don't think it's a stat that in itself is something to be. Well, I guess at the end of the day, getting to Formula One was a dream that I've had for many, many years. And if you'd told me as a 10-year-old kid that I'd be 10 years in Formula One, that would have been something to be proud of back then, and it still is now. But I think when you're here, you're dreaming of bigger things and the next big thing, right? So I don't think it's the number that I'm I don't hope it's the number I'm going to remember for my Formula One career for, but we'll see.
All right. Well, I'll ask you about it when you get to 300. How about that?
Okay.
Kevin, look, best of luck this weekend. Thank you. Valtteri, thank you for waiting. So, a pole position, several podiums here at Silverstone, including back in 2014 with Williams. Which of those memories is the standout one for you?
It's quite hard to remember all the moments in detail. Probably, I think I would go for the 2014. That was pretty sweet year overall. But in any case, every time, if you're privileged to get on the podium, is really cool situation, obviously.
Well, let's talk about on-track performance then. I think a podium might be a little bit too much, but you are running some new aero bits this weekend. What are you expecting from them?
Definitely needed these upgrades, and the whole factory been working flat out to get 2 sets of those for this weekend. So yeah, it seems like last weekend in Austria just overall lacking a bit of pace, and by pace just no chance getting into top 10. So yeah, hopefully it will give us a boost, and actually it's more like also targeting the high speed nature of corners. So yeah, let's see how it goes. It's going to be interesting tomorrow.
It's been a tough year for Alfa Romeo. I mean, your best result of the season was back in Bahrain. The team is now 8th in the Constructors' Championship, just a couple of points ahead of Williams. We're almost at the halfway point of the season now. How confident are you that Alfa Romeo can pull it back from here?
I think this weekend is quite important. I think if we can make a step here, then that gives us obviously a lot more confidence for the rest of the season, but we keep fighting. It is so close that any small gain makes a big difference, and obviously things are always track dependent as well. So we'll keep working hard.
You want to make a step. What does success look like for you this weekend?
I think this weekend getting points ideally with both cars, that would be success at this point. So that's the target.
All right, best of luck with that. Thank you very much to all 5 of you. Let's open this up to the floor now. Name and publication, please. First question. Yep.
Thanks ever so much. David Croft, Sky Sports F1. A question for Lando. Welcome back home. Craig Slater asked me on Sky Sports News about 2 hours ago who was going to be the top Brit in the British Grand Prix this week. Who's going to be the top Brit in the British Grand Prix this week? Because it's quite close between you and the 2 Mercedes guys.
Yeah, depends if Lewis just keeps it within the track limits. I'm hoping for a fight. I think if we can fight with Mercedes, we'll be happy. I think last weekend Mercedes just had a pretty tough weekend. Through the rest of it, they've been quicker than us in every single race this season, so and qualifying. So if we can race with Mercedes, I think it'll be good, not just for our own, say, pace and facts, but also for the fans, because that's the majority of the Brits. Of course, we've got Alex there as well. But I want to say me. I want to be confident in saying me. I think after FP1, FP2, we'll be able to get a good read on where we stand. And if it's close enough to Mercedes, then I'm looking forward to Sunday to see who can come out on top.
Lando, the weather looks a bit iffy for Sunday. Are you doing a rain dance?
I think we understand the reasons why we were particularly good in say Monaco and Canada-ish, why we were competitive there in the rain. I think we know why, like where we're very strong and where we're struggling a lot more. And some of them kind of go hand in hand and then provide the reasons for why we were also strong in the wet. But like I wouldn't say we were outstanding last weekend when it started to rain in the sprint race. Certain places we were strong, but certain things we really did struggle with. So I don't know. I think we have to wait and see how we just perform on this track. We'll see how Friday goes. Then I'll be able to understand if we're going to be a good contender in the wet or not. But I always enjoy those conditions. We had them last year and qualifying went well. So I don't mind. But for the fans, I want to say it stays dry, I hope.
All right. Look, thank you for that. We're going to take a short break at Silverstone and come back with the print media in just a minute.
Yeah, always nice to hear then from Lando Norris. I think he's got himself where he needs to be. I genuinely think as well that he could be the top Brit this weekend. I think Lando has got the sort of determination to do well, and he's got the fire within him. And yes, he did ask him 2 hours ago. I was watching Sky Sports News at the time. Okay, it's simple this weekend to give you the coverage times because they're all here in the UK. So it's actually one of these. Look at that, by the way. Look. That's just literally by holding it like this. It's getting replaced, don't worry. We're going to go to black, we think. Actually, let me know. Does it look good in black or... There you go. You might like this, ready? Let me know, because I don't know, but... This is where it gets a bit hard now. Does red work? Does a red one work? I don't know. Let us know. Let us know. See how difficult it is. Anyway, that's let us know if that works or not. We'll keep an eye out on that. But it's either black or red because the blue doesn't work. That's a few months old and it doesn't work. So that's getting changed. Right, let's go. I'm at Spa for some reason. If anyone tells me why I'm at Spa, that would be very much need to know. Okay, so coverage times for tomorrow. All the streams will be available later on tonight to set you a reminder, but we'll be live at 8:40 in the morning, British Summer Time, for the Formula 3 practice session. Then we'll be live at 10 o'clock for the Formula 2 session as well, practice. Then from 11 until 12, we'll be live for the Friday lunch hour. Practice 1, that's coming your way at 12:15 until 1:45. Then at 2 o'clock, you can join us for the Formula 3 qualifying. 3 o'clock, you can join us for the Formula 2 qualifying. And then at 4 o'clock, you can join us for the second practice session of Formula 1 morning at 2:45 for that. Saturday morning at 9:10 for the sprint race. Then we'll be live as well for the lunch break, I believe, at 10 till 11. Then we go for our third practice session, 11:15. Sprint race for F2 at 1 o'clock. And then qualifying for Formula 1 is at 2:30. Session starts at 3. Sunday, join us throughout the day. 8:10 for feature race of F3. 9:45 for the F2 feature race. Then 11 until 11:30 we'll be live for our track walk as well throughout the weekend. 1 until 5:30 you can join us for the action for Formula 1. A very long day of action, 4.5 hour coverage, 2 hour build to the F1 race as well, and just to be trackside bring us all the action. It's going to be great. It's going to be a brilliant weekend. We can't wait for you all to join us. Bigger and better than ever here on JB Motorsports. We'll see you tomorrow for the start of the British Grand Prix. Bye bye.